Good afternoon, everybody. Ken Rice live in the KDKA TV newsroom. Busy Friday. Have you seen what's going on at Mount St. Helens? For now, it's just steam blowing out of the volcano, but could a full-blown eruption be next? We're live with the latest and the hot topic around water coolers from coast to coast today. Complete breakdown of the debate, including what some of you thought about it. And here's a new way of getting out of mowing the lawn. How'd the mower get up there? First, all of today's top stories, all the latest from AccuWeather 2. KDKA TV News at 4 starts right now.
Now, KDKA TV News at 4.
I thought Bush did a better job conveying his opinions. It seemed as if he was more talking to the people, and like that one guy said, and then it seemed like Kerry was kind of like preaching to the people.
I think John Kerry was very fluent, very certain, very focused, and I found Mr. Bush, your president, was kind of in the defense.
I thought it was very, very well done, and both candidates spoke very clearly and very passionately about the issues.
Actually, I was kind of disappointed. I thought the debates were going to get a little more heated and seemed kind of too controlled and a little too boring.
Well, just about everyone has an opinion about last night's presidential debate, a debate that focused exclusively on foreign affairs.
And Katie, Money and Politics editor John Delano, of course, watched the debate. He's live now in our newsroom with his take on the first of 3 presidential debates. John?
Well, Bruce, make no mistake, before the debate, everyone said this was Senator John Kerry's best opportunity to get back a little momentum to a campaign that had seemed to stall. Tonight, Democrats say he did just what he had to do. They shook hands at the start, but the candidates didn't have many nice words to say about each other.
The only thing consistent about my opponent's position is that he's been inconsistent. He changes positions.
This president has made, I regret to say, a colossal error of judgment. And judgment is what we look for in the President of the United States of America.
Most of the debate was on Iraq, where Kerry went on offense against Bush.
And he rushed to war in Iraq without a plan to win the peace. Now, that is not the judgment that a president of the United States ought to make.
And said Kerry, Bush's preoccupation with Iraq botched the effort to get the real terrorist, Osama bin Laden.
With the American military forces nearby and in the field, we didn't use the best trained troops in the world to go kill the world's #1 criminal and terrorist. They outsourced the job to Afghan warlords.
But the president ridiculed Kerry's promise of help to the troops in Iraq.
Help is on the way, but it's certainly hard to tell it when he voted against the $87 billion supplemental to provide equipment for our troops, and then said he actually did vote for it before he voted against it. It's not what Commander-in-Chief does when you're trying to lead troops.
Now, following the debate, I spoke to the president's senior political advisor, Karl Rove, and then with Kerry's senior political advisor, Joe Lockhart. I'll have their take on this debate new on KDKA TV News at 6. Live from the newsroom, I'm John Delano.
All right, John, so who do you think did better during last night's debate? That's the question we asked in today's KDKA TV web poll. Most people, 72%, think John Kerry did the better job. 19% like President Bush. 9% didn't watch. You can still vote. Just log on to KDKA.com.
Our coverage of Campaign 2004 continues throughout this newscast, and coming up later in this hour, we will have reaction from the vice presidential candidates. You'll find out what they think about last night's debate. And the campaigning, of course, does not stop. We will continue to show you what presidential candidates are up to today all along the campaign trail. There's another debate you won't want to miss. Senate candidates Arlen Specter and Joe Huffle will take part in the first of 2 debates in the race for U.S. Senate. You can see the debate tomorrow night at 11 o'clock on our sister station, UPN Pittsburgh.
Well, a state representative is calling for an investigation after an email accused him of buying votes. The email says Democrat James Casorio Jr. offered a North Huntington Animal Group $5,000 to put his campaign signs in their yards. Now, according to the Tribune Review, Republican Township Commissioner Richard Gray admitted to sending that email from his home computer.
Police are searching for suspects in a smash and grab robbery. This happened overnight at the Burlington Coat Factory in downtown on 6th Avenue and Smithfield Streets. Police say that someone smashed the window. It is not known at this time how much merchandise was taken. And someone is stealing mail right out of the mailboxes in Fayette County. And police are looking for a suspect who has stolen mail out of the mailboxes in Connellsville, Dunbar, and Bullskin townships, and police say this has gone on since September.
At this point, we still anticipate that any eruptive activity would either be a small to moderate explosion from the lava dome or perhaps an extrusion of lava onto the lava dome.
And scientists keep a close eye on Mount St. Helens today. More than a week after a flurry of earthquakes began, that volcano released a thick plume of white steam earlier today, a precursor of what is to come.
Yeah, scientists think there's a 70% chance Mount St. Helens will erupt. Problem is they don't know exactly when. Terry Akita reports now from Washington State.
When these visitors first heard the majestic Mount St. Helens may blow again, they rushed to get a front row seat to nature's show.
The volcano itself is just outstanding. There's no other place in the world that you can come this close and see what you can see here.
Tourists aren't too worried they'll be in the path of destruction here. Geologists say if St. Helens erupts, the rocks and ash may only reach 3 miles out. This observatory sits 5 miles from the crater.
I don't know, it's like some kind of a miracle watching nature create itself or recreate itself.
Geologists keep 24-hour watch over seismographs, which track the volcano's every move.
And they're using other high-tech toys, infrared light to help capture snapshots of magma, and global positioning instruments to monitor any shifts in the crater.
The eruption advisory level remains at the second highest level, and scientists are sticking with 70% probability that an eruption will occur, but are still unable to nail down a more precise time because St. Helens has cooled off considerably.
Keep in mind, it's been 18 years since the last eruption, so this one could take a bit longer.
More than 1,000 tiny earthquakes a day continue to shake, rattle, and roll inside the crater, sometimes at a magnitude as high as 3.3. Excited geologists believe molten magma is busy pushing its way up and past a cooled plug of older sediment. What that eruption will look like when it pops the cork is anyone's guess.
But since we do have something in the way, perhaps leaning a little bit more towards some type of explosive event.
Whether the show is big or small, there will never be another one exactly like it, and these tourists know it's part of history. And besides, admission is free. Terry Okita, CBS News, at the Johnston Ridge Observatory.
We have more local news for you now. Pittsburgh City Council President Gene Riccardi has an idea to crack down on bad landlords. Now, the Tribune Review says Riccardi is pushing for a 3 strikes rule. It would allow the city to bill landlords for building inspectors or police who handle complaints about their properties. Riccardi plans to introduce that bill to City Council in the next few weeks.
The CIA is examining an audio tape broadcast by Al Jazeera television, and the voice on the tape is reported to be that of Osama bin Laden's top deputy. The voice calls for attacks on U.S. and British interests all around the world. The speaker calls on Muslims, quote, not to wait any longer or they will be devoured, end quote. The U.S. government is offering $25 million for information leading to his arrest or death. And a judge has dismissed charges against Washington area sniper John Allen Muhammad. He was facing his second capital murder trial. The judge ruled prosecutors violated Muhammad's right to a speedy trial. Muhammad has already been sentenced to death in his first capital murder trial.
Now let's check out the closing numbers on Wall Street on this Friday. It's been a pretty good day and ended on a great note here. The Dow Jones Industrial is up 111 points. The NASDAQ up as well, 42.5 to close out the week.
Many people across the area were left with nothing after the recent flooding, and now local churches are joining together to help provide some flood relief. We will show you what they are doing coming up. But first, is your back pain unbearable? Well, there may be a new treatment to have you living pain-free for good.
Weekend's off to a good start. Plenty of sunshine outside right now, and temperatures are running in the lower half of the 70s. Unfortunately, it's going to turn cooler, and we can't expect at least some rain this weekend. Details are straight ahead in the AccuWeather forecast.
I have a specific plan to strengthen our economy and create jobs. It's based on 3 guiding principles. 1, to create jobs, we have to help small businesses not get in their way. 2, the middle class needs help with a tax cut, lower health care costs. 3, I want an America that relies on its own ingenuity and innovation, not the Saudi royal family. Big plans for a stronger America. I'm John Kerry, and I approve this message.
If you suffer from arthritis, Biomet can help. For decades, we've engineered hip, knee, elbow, and shoulder implants. So we know that making joint replacements that last is a matter of advanced science. Our minimally invasive procedures and innovative implants get you back to living and keep you in motion.
The long-term success of our joint implants, second to none.
Call or visit biomet.com. Biomet, advanced science for real living.
Carlow University salutes Joanne Rogers and Mary Gibson Winter as Carlow Women of Spirit. Joanne Rogers is a professional pianist and is actively involved with Family Communications Incorporated, carrying on the legacy created by Fred Rogers' life work. Mary Gibson Winter is the executive director of Angels Place Incorporated, a comprehensive support program for low-income single parents and their children.
Carlow University in its 75th year, Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield and KDKA TV honor these women of spirit.
I'm 72 and still working. I just couldn't afford to retire because the bills. You don't take your medication, you're not going to live.
Americans need their president to stand up for them. Instead, President Bush sided with the big drug companies, blocking Medicare from negotiating lower prescription prices. Now Medicare premiums are going up 17%.
It's $1,000 a month, but I can only really afford the $400 a month. My credit card is going sky high.
The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertisement.
This is KDKA TV News at 4 with Patrice King-Brown, Stacy Smith, and Chief Meteorologist Jeff Verzella with your AccuWeather forecast.